Okay, good morning and welcome to our very first Kapartner Podcast. Di ko alam kung title nito, mga kapartner, pero tawagin na siguro natin Kapartner Podcast. Na it's the first one and it's a series of interviews or podcast discussions with leaders, key opinion leaders, pati executives ng Global Dominion to talk about the different needs of businesses and why they potentially need financing along the way. Kahit na hindi along the way, baka isa pa lang kailangan nila ng financing. And with me this morning or today is the Chief Operating Officer of Global Dominion Financing Inc., Ms. Melai Felicidario. Palakpakan sa background!
Good morning!
Good morning, Ma'am Melai. Kumusta ka ngayong magpapasko?
I'm good. Akong taong bahay dito.
Okay.
Lahat naka-mandatory leave. So, I have no choice but to be here until the year end.
And maraming salamat for joining us as well. No? Marami tayong pag-uusapan today but I'd like to start with yung product mismo ni Global Dominion, yung financing.
Okay.
To me, it seems like it's an unusual product sa ibang bansa. But in the Philippines, what do you think is the reception of Filipinos towards financing and refinancing? Yung tinatawag nating sangla o RCR.
Actually, being with the bank for, at first, I started with the bank for 28 years na. So, when I transferred to financing and refinancing, actually war shock ako because of the products that are offered. So, I was not used to offering loans to SMEs, but I used to handle the corporate accounts.
So now it's new.
Yeah, it's new. It's new. So, it took me 2 years to learn this, the financing on SMEs and consumer loans. So, what's unique about us or what's unique about the industry?
The reception. So when you said na even to you it's new, do you think maraming Filipino ang nakakaalam na ng produkto to that we have this, that they can avail of this, or kulang pa tayo sa awareness?
I think siguro kulang pa sa awareness. That's why we are doing all the advertisements and yung mga road shows natin. But I think a lot of people, a lot of individuals and small businesses are really looking for financing for their small products, especially the startups, yung mga 3 years pa lang sa business. And we are here to offer that product. No?
But why should businesses know this? Ano bang meron sa, let's say, sangla or RCR or sa financing for business owners? Why it's best for them to learn about it as well?
First of all, kasi lahat naman ng businesses, they need funding, financing. No, and we, the financing companies like GDFI, we are here to provide that financing. Usually kasi ang mga humihingi ng mga loans, nag-apply ng loans with financial institutions, hindi nakakakuha ng approval or may approval nga but it takes 2 months, 3 months to get an approval. Because ang daming mga stringent requirements ang hinihingi usually ng banks. Kasi parang, is this known in the industry?
Oo, bakit nila kailangan malaman? Yan.
Kasi
lahat sila
hindi nila alam how to get funding. So, hindi nila alam meron silang mga existing assets that they can use para sa ORCR sangla, no? Sangla ORCR, or even real estate na pwede tayong may existing real estate property ka, asset, or anything that you can provide as collateral.
na ipasok ha.
Diba? Provide as collateral kasama yung real estate. Paano pala to augment the working capital requirements.
Ito pala, I remember. You mentioned in the traditional way of doing this, medyo matagal, maraming requirements. So you're saying with financing companies like Global Dominion, mas mabilis itong proseso at mas madali for the applicants, whether individual or business owners.
Yes, being here for 2 years, doon ko na-realize na ang bilis pala makapag
Pwede
process.
pala.
Pwede pala. Inunahan mo ko dyan. Pwede pala. Kaya nila makuha overnight yung loan or siguro as for real estate, it's 2 weeks. For ORCR sangla, 1 day to 2 days, no? Pwede. As long as the documents are complete and yun, we have i-analyze naman yan ng credit group namin. so that we can avail of the facilities or avail of a loan.
At what point should you consider na, parang kailangan ko magsangla o RCR? Or kailangan ko magpa-finance ng additional sasakyan or truck? Meron ba yung parang signs or trigger?
Actually, at the onset, talagang kailangan mo ng financing. Unless you have your own equity that you could put in the business, no? But usually, pag startup kasi, we really need, just like the banks and financing companies, gusto natin makita yung 3-year performance mo before we go in and fund your business or we augment your working capital requirements, no? Ang dito, we need about, siguro at least 3 years. We require 3 years of your business just to make sure that, talaga, tuloy-tuloy yung business mo, hindi yung pag-startup mo pa lang, baka fail pala. So at least, proven and tested mo na yung business before we come in.
Karoon ng multiple cycles.
And then we have to check kung ano yung cash inflow mo so that we can match your financial requirements.
Okay, but you mentioned also at the onset, you may want to consider it. So okay lang ba to if, for example, I'm employed now, sa private company or public company, and then nag-isip ako na gusto kong magsangla o RCR, pwede ba yun? Employed ako ngayon, tapos sangla ko yung sasakyan ko kasi I want to start a business.
Yes, of course, pag-aaralan mo muna yung business mo. And if you're employed, then at least yan muna yung initial cash flow mo to pay off the amortizations. And then our credit team will provide you with the right matching sa amortization schedule mo para tama yung kayang-kaya ng net disposable income mo to pay off the amortization na hindi, kahit na nag-fail yung business mo, even if it's a startup, kaya pa rin ang existing income mo from your employment, mabayaran yung loan.
So at the very least, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur pa lang,
Yes.
you have your employment as your source of income. Yun ang
Yes,
i-assess
yun
ng
naman ang
global dominion.
Yes.
Okay. So pwede nga siya kahit paplano ka pa lang. No? But how about when you already have an existing business? When's the right time? Let's say, okay, naka 3 years na rin ako. What's my trigger to say, alam mo, parang kailangan ko na magsangla o RCR. I have a truck, I have a car, pwede ko na isangla yung ORCR ng mga units na yun.
When you think siguro, dapat naka-program ka na for the next year. Ano ba magiging projections ko for the next year? If you think you can grow your business by 10, 20, 30% from the existing, then it's time siguro that you can talk to us, the financing team, to ask for additional working capital requirements. Dun papasok yung ORCR sangla, and then we will also assess kung how much you can borrow based on the collateral that you provided. So depends on the type of unit, the model, the year, and then pwede nating i-assess kung this is how much you can borrow, and ito yung magpapaikot sa business mo para mapalaki mo yung business mo for the coming year or for the next 5 years, the medium term.
Ito, this question. You've been assessing businesses for decades now.
Yes.
No? How can a business best parang manage or take care of their financial health? No? Kasi, diba ako yung business owner, tapos feeling ko ready na akong mag-expand. What do I need to prepare? Meron ba akong dapat isaalang-alang bago ako mag-apply ng loan to a financing company like Global Dominion?
Alam mo, ang pinaka-importante talaga, you should know, you have to have a good accountant, or you yourself, you have to study kung paano mo pag-aaralan yung financials mo. Hindi ka pwedeng pumasok lang sa business or sa start of the business na wala kang alam sa accounting. Kasi pwede kang maloko, di ba? So, titingnan mo magkano magiging margins mo. Margins meaning, magbebenta ka, ito yung cost mo, ito yung sales mo, then you should have sufficient buffer na kahit na mag-loan ka ng additional, it's still more than enough to cover for your expenses. So, pati interest expenses mo, kailangan mo ma-check kung kaya ba. Baka kasi mamaya, lahat ng income mo, pumasok lang sa pambayad lang sa loan. So, titingnan mo magkano yung margins mo to make sure that you have be able to pay the operating expenses and the interest expense on the loans.
In Global Dominion, these are all considered, no? I mean, hindi ka naman bibigyan ng approved loan amount na mukhang hindi mo kakayanin bayaran.
Yes, oo. Yun ang importante. Strict kami on the net disposable income. So, total income, less your usual operating monthly expense, and then ito yung mga net disposable income, we provide also a buffer. Usually, it's 60% of your net disposable income. Yun ang dapat na maximum amortization that you can pay. So, if your net disposable income is lower, then we will have to lower the loan amount that we can provide.
Okay, so talking about it, preparation, as you mentioned earlier, aside from make sure parang recorded lahat ng finances, whatever, may accountant ka or you have a consultant perhaps, you also need to prepare all your sources of income or present them. Tama ba? Will it help?
Yes.
Loan application. Let's say meron pa ako ibang side hustle.
Better, much better. Kasi the bigger the cash flow, then we can maximize the loan amount, no? The loanable amount for every collateral, merong valuation yan. So, we can maximize it. So, let's say if it's 70% of the total value, then we can provide 70%. Plus the terms, no? Either 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So, pwede nating i-consider yon. We can provide shorter term if you want, or even longer term to lessen the amortization.
Okay.
Para hindi mabigat para sa iyo.
Okay. Got it. Now, in many cases, hindi lang isa ang sources of income ng Pilipino. Alam natin
Yes.
lahat yan. No? Meron tayong employment, minsan
Ganyan
meron
ang
pa tayong
Pilipino.
businesses on the side, mayroon pang consultancy, may
Correct.
sideline, whatever. So, would Global Dominion consider ba na, halimbawa, I'm selling online, may pagkain, whatever, but I do have payment transactions to prove it. Would that be a good example of something that you have to present as well when you're applying for a loan as an additional source of income?
Yes, ang ano doon, you can also provide that, but you need proof. We need proof, no? That if you're selling online or may traditional trading ka, we also need the documents. If you are, kasi hindi yun, we cannot consider that business if it doesn't have any documents. So you have to provide those documents for as proof, no? Na additional at stable income yun. Yung sabi mo, yung food and whatever, kung online.
Yes, they're selling online. Okay,
Yes.
punta naman tayo sa malalaking businesses.
Yes.
Would it help if I present, for example, parang a purchase order coming from a big partner or tawag dyan, client na bumibili from me? Let's say, meron akong trucking, marami akong negosyo. Nakakatulong ba yun sa aking application?
For big companies, it's not just one supplier or customer. Kasi ano yan risk, it's also a risk. So, you should have at least 3 or more suppliers. Kasi kung biglang mag-pull out itong supplier or that customer, tapos ng business mo. So, you have to have a lot of suppliers, the sources of that raw materials or yung customers mo. Hindi lang just one time, big time. Kasi nga, isa sa mga ano yan, tinitingnan din namin sa analysis namin, you have to have supplier risk or customer risk.
Marami rin ba itong mga medyo malalaking companies, small to medium na companies that are considering loans and applying to Global Dominion?
Marami. Actually, may mga small business loans and medium, may malalaki. Actually, iba nga naghahanap ng above 10 million na loan but we put a cap, no?
Okay.
To spread the risk. So,
Okay.
for the financing companies, for us, for Global Dominion, maximum 10 million ang ano.
10 million.
We can provide up to 10 million financing.
Actually saying that even the big companies, talagang reliant sa tawag doon, sa mga loans or sa financing, sa sangla wars. So
Yes.
even them use that as a strategy or as a tool or as an
Yes.
instrument to expand, no? And that should send perhaps a signal to even the smaller businesses na this really is an empowering tool for them to expand their business. Tama ba?
Yes. Ang importante doon yung na-manage mo yung loan mo. So, hindi yung, usually kasi, depends on the industry that you're in, sa business mo that you're in. So, meron tayong mga ratios na tinatawag. We have the current ratio, DE ratio. So, depending on the business. Kung trading yan, dapat yung current ratio be at least 1:1. 1 ang current asset and then 1 lang liability. So, parang pwede mong i-offset yung loan mo if it's enough to cover. So, depending on the nature of business, ang ano namin, ang maximum loanable amount na pwede mo lang ibigay.
And these ratios something you can't have if wala kang proper accounting.
Correct.
For your
May
business.
mga DE ratios yan
Correct.
na kailangan pag-aralan. Kasi hindi pwede kang over-leverage.
Okay.
So, dapat meron ka ding equity portion on the loan on the business. So, that's your capital. And then, may number of times lang yan kung pwedeng i-loan mo.
Okay. So I asked about the reception and how other smaller businesses perhaps are still thinking about applying for a loan. Because as we know it here in the Philippines, meron pa rin different connotation towards loan. No? And so I want to know now, personally to you, what do you think about pangungutang, pag-loan and financing in general? Your thoughts?
Alam mo, siguro when I started, parang una, we shy away from loans. No? Sabi ko, ano ba yan? May utang, di ba? Yung pala, for you to grow a business, you need a loan. No? Meron kami mga borrowers na ito talaga yung kailangan nilang, yung sinasabi nila na hindi ka lalaki kung hindi ka umutang to add to your working capital. And then, alam mo naman na eventually, you will be able to pay off that loan. So, yun ang nangyayari naman na usually, for you to grow the business, you to avail of a loan naman para lang just to augment your working capital. Yun pa rin.
And what do you say to it, a personal question, what do you say to people na parang merong different connotation towards loan? Parang they're thinking na, yun nga, as what you initially thought na parang hindi magandang may utang ako or ang business ko.
Ang ano naman, this time, no, kasi ngayon that we matured na, yung loan kasi, you should have, nakaprogram yon. Hindi yung uutang ka because, uutang ka pero wala ka palang cash flow.
Okay.
So, yun, ibang issue yon. So, for you borrow for a business, because you know that you will be able to pay in a short period of time or in medium term, pay off mo yun. So, okay naman. Walang problema if, there's no problem with, borrowing as long as you are able to recover it from your business, mag-improve yung business mo, and then that same cash inflow from your business, you will be able to pay off all of your loans or your debts.
It's bridging a time gap kasi it's a future money naman eh.
Yes. That's why you have to have that cash flow.
Okay.
Yun yung sinasabi ko na dapat may accountant ka or just learn about basic accounting, lalo na pag ikaw yung owner of the business.
At sana may plano. Talking about plano, dapat may plano ka na sa business mo. Ano-ano ba yung mga best na paggamitan ng loan? So, if I'm considering applying for a loan, okay, expansion, gets ko na yung bibili ka ng additional na inventory. Meron pa bang pwedeng magandang
Sa trading?
As an individual and as a business owner siguro, let's cover both.
Depends on the type of the business kasi. So, kung trading ka, you need that funds to bridge your, bridge finance actually yung, kunyari for the trading company, you need that funds to buy inventory, and then eventually you wait for that inventory to mabenta, and then you give credit terms also to your customers para mas marami bumili sa iyo. So, titingnan mo yung operating cash flow mo. So, from inventory for 30 days, and then when you sell it, you receive the money for 30 days pa. So, usually, ang loan mo dapat is good for 60 days para cash to cash. Oo. So, pay off mo.
Parang bumibili ng panahon.
Correct.
Kasi siya parang bumibili ng panahon because you're sharing this time with your customers as well. You extend yung payment din nila to you eh. But as an individual, say, okay, kasi lahat, hindi lang businesses to mga kapartner ha, pwedeng mag-apply for loan. O say, I'm employed and I have a car, pwede ko rin isang lao or CR. What are the usual reasons or purpose of loan ng ating mga kapartners?
Siyempre, ako as an employee, gusto ko rin magkaroon ng sarili kong sasakyan.
Yeah.
Or sarili kong bahay, di ba? So, based on my salary from my employment, titingnan ko, kaya ko bang bayaran ng Not just, so if you want to buy, kasi hindi lang ORC or sangla, but we also have the financing. Bibili ka sa dealers natin, and that, doon mo makikita yung, wow, nagkakaroon ako ng sarili kong sasakyan, and kaya ba na sarili kong cash flow from my employment naman. So, yun yung isa rin sa considerations yun, as long as you're employed, stable and regular ka na working in a company, no, as a regular employee, then we also consider that. Tinitingnan natin dyan kung magkano na naman ang magiging net disposable income mo.
And without sharing exact figures, marami bang customers si Global Dominion na ganyan? I mean, employed tapos gusto ko ng sasakyan.
Yeah,
Sa
marami.
car
Pag usually sa car financing, I think 50-50. 50-50 yata ang ratio sa small business owners and employed. Yes. But for truck financing, I think 98% are into business. Siyempre truck.
Oo. So it's probably the easiest way for an individual to get his first car. Tama ba?
Yeah.
Kasi mas matipid to than getting a brand new.
Oo naman. Ang actually, once you buy a second-hand car, palagay ko parang it's 30% off na, no? Kahit na paglabas pa lang ng kasa yan, 'di ba? Sabi nila 30%
Bawas agad.
bawas ng value. But usually when you buy a second-hand car, ang baba na ng usually you buy it at 60% of the base market value sa brand new, compared sa brand new. So let's say kunyari bumili ka ng isang SUV, the brand new price is 1.9, you can buy it 1.3 or even 1.4, 'di ba?
Wow.
And then ang second hand, if you decide to sell it at after 2 years or 5 years, the value is still within 1 million, 'di ba? At sa SUV ka na unit.
Let's go back to Sangla ORCR or car refinancing. Pwede bang mag-loan ako and using my ORCR because I want to go on vacation abroad? So for personal
Actually,
use, pwede naman yun, di ba? Pwede ba?
Pwede,
Okay.
pwede. Kung regular employee, irregular employee bang natin sample dito?
Regular employee.
So, kung regular employee ka, tuloy-tuloy naman yan. So, you still have that income, you available leave, pasyal ka abroad, then, di ba? And then, you are able to pay pa rin the amortization because kasama yun sa pag-analyze natin. As long as you're a regular employee or even sa abroad ka, di ba? As a OFW, no? May mga ganun eh. Oo, pwede. As long as you have stable income, monthly income.
And highlight lang natin mga kapartner, tama ba na hindi naman kukunin yung sasakyan, hindi naman isa-surrender.
Hindi. You just surrender the ORCR. Yes.
No? Yung kinukuha talaga yung sasakyan. Or not really. Pero dito talaga ORCR lang.
Dito ORCR lang ang Dito ORCR lang. Madadrive mo pa yung sasakyan mo. So, you submit the complete requirements including the ORCR. We provide you with the funding, but you still get to use the car. You can use it for your business or even just for personal use.
Have you ever used like a loan product to start a business? Not
I've been
necessarily
employed
recently.
kasi I've been employed for the
Doon
longest time. But we avail of a car plan namin sa we call it car lease naman sa bank. So, yun, nag-amortize naman, salary deduction. So, wala na kaming, kumbaga, sweldo namin net of the amortization. So, oo. So, 5-year term. I mas prefer ko yung second-hand car. So, I availed of a brand new car before. And then, after 5 years, second-hand na lang kasi lower ang loan amount and mas kaya, mas affordable. And then, after 5 years, magpapalit naman after 5 years. So, pwede mo ibenta na naman. Actually, parang 200,000 lang na bawas dun sa from the time I bought the unit. Tapos pag binenta ko, less than 200,000 lang, pwede mo pa ibenta.
Ibenta ulit.
And then, nagamit ko pa for 5 years, di ba? Hindi naman buy and sell.
Sell lang.
And then buy.
Sell and buy. So,
sell and buy.
But have you ever thought of parang building or establishing a business on your own?
Trinay ko yan eh. Pero,
sa isip mo.
Parang nangyari, puro donate na lang nangyari. Kasi minsan tuwan-tuwa ako, wow, ang ganda, mura nito. So, parang pinapakita ko na, ang mura nito, parang, sige, bibenta ko na lang sa'yo at cost. So, hindi ko talaga talent yung trading business. Oo.
Nagiging charitable institution.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but say I've used it sa business ko, halimbawa, as a business owner, nagamit ko ng isang law or CR to expand my business. is it recommended na magpatuloy lang to use it as a tool to further grow pa the business? I heard a story about one global dominion borrower who has renewed his loan 17 times already and grew his business from just one truck to 24 trucks. Is it an ideal scenario?
Yes, ang doon, mas maganda nga yung ganun eh. Tingnan mo yung, hindi niya kailangan galawin yung sarili. He doesn't even have to add more capital. Actually, the cash flow from operations, doon niya na pinasok lahat, no? All the income that all the income generated from the business, na it was plowed back to the business. So, yung working capital niya, he relies on the renewals naman of the loan. So, mas maganda. Kasi this is being amortized monthly. So, by the time after 2 years or 3 years, fully paid ka, then, kailangan pa na naman ng bagong business. Oo, bagong working capital, then just reavail. So, maganda talaga yung yeah, it's advisable na to allow them to reavail, renew the loan.
The story is also kind of a testament to how you can really manage the rates, no? And parang use it to your advantage. Kasi kaya mo eh. Despite,
yes.
Diba? Paying
That's why it's important that you know your cash flow. Kasi pagka umutang ka, and then hindi mo na mapala kaya, sayang lang, hindi mo matutuloy, hindi mo magagamit as working capital because nababaon ka na sa pagbayad lang amortization. So, that's why we always conduct credit analysis on every loan that is availed by the borrower or yung mga applicants para matulungan din sila na ito lang ang pwede natin bigay sa inyo and then ito yung amortization na dapat based on your net disposable income para mapaikot mo ulit yung business mo, yung pera mo.
First statement, which is to know your business, have proper accounting for your business. No? How do you get help? Kunwari, I have a business, that's 3 years na, but I feel like parang mali naman parang wala akong proper accounting for my business. Paano ba ako makakuha ng tulong dyan?
Actually, there's always, pwede naman may mga YouTube dyan actually. Pero hindi mo matutunan yun na, you have to have siguro at least yung basic lang, no? Basic lesson on accounting, balance sheet, income statement, yun man importante. Kung ano yung pumapasok mong pera, alam mo dapat na hindi pumapasok na revenues, dapat hindi more than yung operating expenses mo, pati interest expense should be much less than the revenues that you're getting. Para meron kang naiiwan pa sa sarili mo as income that you can use for the business also. You can roll it back to the business. Yun ang naman doon.
And when you probably have enough, hire an accountant.
Yeah, hire an accountant, pero hindi naman kailangan CPA actually.
Agad-agad.
Basta na marunong lang siya. Actually, yung anak ko tinuturoan ko eh. Sabi ko, simple lang. You buy a ball pen for 80 pesos, you sell it for 100 pesos, so you get an income of 20. Diba? Now, if you want to expand and buy more ball pens, so maglo-loan ka. So, how much do you need? You just need to buy the number of, yung sa inventory mo, aside from your capital, na dapat meron kayo 20 pesos mo, pwede mo gamitin capital yon. But syempre kung volume na, meron ka dapat, na-compute mo na magkano magiging cost mo, that's the amount lang that you should borrow, or even less. Para, meron ka pang, as soon as you get to sell it, then, andyan naman yung income mo that you can plow back to the business para magamit mo na naman for your working capital.
Ganda na example mo. Ganda. Sana ma-absorb natin yan, mga kapartner. Or find another supplier that sells ballpen for 70.
Pwede. Actually, pwede. Kasi you cannot just have one supplier, di ba?
Meron pa, find a segment that buys ballpen for 150.
Pwede. Di ba?
Dami na isip.
So, depends on the product.
Correct. I think I've learned a lot today for the first session ng ating podcast. Maraming salamat, Ms. Melai Felicidario. Is there anything you'd like to share to our kapartners out there?
Hello kapartners. Pag meron kayong kailangan, just call me. No, just kidding. You have to,
091 and then...
No. Hindi. Ang importante for the business is really to get an accounting background. Yun talaga. It's the numbers that will make you grow. So, learn about the basics of accounting na hindi lang papasok sa business. And of course, alamin mo rin the type of business that you're getting into. Kasi may mga sunset business na hindi na, parang wala na pag-asa yan. Kagaya ng merong mga times na mga old cellphones, hindi mo na mabebenta yun, di ba? Yung mga, ang bilis ng technology.
Kinakabahan ako eh.
Hindi. Yung technology. So, alam mo yung type of business. Di ba meron tayong 5 C's of credit? You have to have character, the character of the person who is borrowing from you, the collateral that is being offered, the condition of the condition of the industry, the business, yung capacity to pay is very important. Yun ang talagang important. And what else? Meron pa isang C eh.
Collateral capacity, character, condition,
and capital, of course.
Capital.
And there's another C.
COVID.
Common sense.
Ay, common sense. Alam ko
Common
COVID
sense.
eh.
Actually, di ba, we survived COVID.
Oo.
So, minsan, alam mo na, essential ba itong business? Isa yun sa mga conditions, di ba?
Ganda ng common
pandemic
sense.
natin. Common sense. The sixth. Common sense.
Kung nagnegosyo ka ng palugi, so
Bagsak pa ito tuloy. Palitan mo na.
Bagsak ka doon. Uy, palakpakan, maraming salamat mga kaibigan. Really insightful lahat ng mga advice. Everything else that you need to know about Global Dominion, especially for financing and refinancing, sang lao or CR. So, ako tututok. Ayan. For everything else that you need to know about refinancing and financing, just go to gdfi.com.ph. Follow us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads. Ano pang meron tayo? YouTube. Ayan. Lahat na ng social media. I-search na Global Dominion Financing Incorporated or gdfi.com.ph and you'll find us there. Just be careful or avoid yung mga scam pages, scam accounts, yung mga fake pages. Ayan. So, hanapin ninyo. Facebook, you can easily find us. Diyan marami pong mga fake pages. Just look for the one that has more than 180,000 followers. Walang ibang ganon.
Wow.
Partner. Na may more than 180,000 followers as of today. Maraming salamat ulit sa inyong pagtutok. And thank you sa pagtutok sa aming first podcast, ka-partner podcast, na hindi pa namin alam kung ano ang title. Pero sana'y subaybayan niyo pa kaming muli. Hanggang sa muli. Ciao. Maraming salamat ka-partner. Palakpakan ulit. Salamat.